Hey guys, Josh here with TechTalk.au. Today I'm just going to do a video on how to run Windows on your Mac and if it's worth it or not. So I'm going to start straight away with, is it safe? A lot of people ask me, is it safe to run Windows on your Mac? In my opinion, it is, because if you think about it, Macs cannot get Windows viruses. The reason for that being is Windows runs on a different it runs differently to the Mac, so it's not the same code. It's on a different basis, and therefore it cannot get Mac viruses. Mac cannot get Windows viruses. Also, if your PC does stuff up, you can just delete the Windows partition on the Mac. Say if you deleted this one, which is the partition for my boot camp, I can simply just go to boot camp system and continue that and create or remove the Windows partition and simply just partition it back to the full Mac OS X hard drive. So that'll be gone, and all the issues with your Windows partition will be gone. So that's another reason. Is it worth it? Yes and no. It depends on really what you need to do and what you want to do. The reasons it is good is if you want to play games, Mac does have games, but not as many as Windows does. Now, you really should be playing games on a gaming console. That's really what they're made for. But if you want to play certain games that you want to take with you, say your laptop, you want to take with you, Windows is a great option to play to do that. Like I play Grand Theft Auto 4 on that, I play Flight Simulator. It is good for games. Another reason is if you need to run a Windows-only application. Say if you're running my MYOB, which is My Own Business, which is sort of like a Windows application that lets you run a business, or if you're like a convenience store or like a shopping center and you need to have Windows software that is not available for the Mac at the moment, that is also a good reason. If you also need it for work, say as a program for the Windows side that you need for work, that's a good thing. The good thing about Mac is it does have Microsoft Office and the Apple's version of Office here. And you can also run like remote desktop connection, the Windows one. So you can pretty much work if in a Windows network. So you can use a Mac in a Windows network, and it will be very compatible with all the other computers in your network. But just in case you need to run something else. So I'm going to start off with a couple of ways you can run Windows on your Mac, and the easiest ways to do it. So what I do is I use Boot Camp, which is right here, which pretty much what it does is partition your hard drive into two sections. You choose how big you want it, and it will partition it so you can run Mac and Windows. Now Boot Camp, what you have to do is you have to restart your computer, turn it on, hold Option, and select whether you want to boot into Windows or Mac. Now that's good for games because everything is dedicated to the game, or say using Photoshop or something very graphical intensive like a photo editing application or video editing application. That's good. But if you want to just use software for school or work or something, then VMware Fusion or Parallels Desktop is your answer. Now, I really don't care if you go for VMware Fusion or Parallels Desktop. I don't really have a set program that I use because I don't really mind. As I just got this for quite cheap at a shop, so this is good. This is VMware Fusion 3. I use it. I run Linux on here, and I can also run my Boot Camp partition on here, so I don't have to install Windows again to run it on the Mac. So what I do to use this, just click Startup, type in your password, and it'll pretty much...
Dude, look. Cannot connect file. Volumes 1.5 terabyte.
So what it has done is it has got rid of the icon here. So it has taken that and changed it into a virtual machine, and as you can see now it is booting up, and I am actually running a PC. So this is virtual, so it's not as fast as if you boot into it normally, but it's still pretty much Windows. So I'm starting Windows 7 here. As you can see, it's just booting into Windows 7 natively, just like it would on a PC. Now, what I've found with VMware Fusion is, for some reason, it's not super fast. I'm not really sure why, but I'm sure like if you're using a Office application or something like that, it is good enough to use. Like it's fast enough to use a normal application. Usually, probably not the 3D games or graphic intensive games like Grand Theft Auto and Flight Simulator or some of those games. So as you can see, I am running full Mac here, full Windows here, and it is Windows 7 Home Premium. iPod Touch 2G and 3G. So as you can see, I pretty much just booted up into my Windows partition as I would when I would reboot the computer. Now, for some reason, it's not widescreen, but that's not a huge problem right now. So I'm going to take it out of full screen here. And just look here, and it's pretty much there. It's in Windows 7. I can run applications, so I can run Internet Explorer. And yeah, that's pretty much VMware Fusion. And Parallels is not that much different to it, because it's pretty much pretty much the same thing and whatnot. So there's also a thing called Unity on here. Let's click it now. And as you can see, up here is a menu bar icon, which is sort of like the Windows Start bar, the Windows Start button, sorry. And you have all your programs in here, and you have like my computer, my documents, all that here. So I'm going to open Windows Internet Explorer, and it's going to come up in my dock, just like a Mac program. So really, that's really what Unity is. And yeah, so that's really an easy way to run Windows on your Mac.